Tune in to the Diva Hustle.
Hey, you guys, thanks for tuning in to the Diva Hustle Show. Today, my guest is Susan, and she is the leading therapist at Interior Therapist based out of the UK, right?
That's right, interior therapy.
So thank you, Susan, for joining us. How are you?
I'm really good. Thank you, Paris.
So let's talk about how did you discover this unique approach and what inspired you to become a leading expert in your field?
So I've been interested in feng shui for over 30 years. And as I was working just with my family and friends, I started noticing patterns. And when you see patterns starting to appear, it makes you ask questions. Why is that happening? Why am I seeing the same things in similar situations? If somebody was getting divorced, I'd see, a particular kind of possession that they'd have in their house. If they were expanding their family, I'd see something else. And I started to sort of look and understand more and more about it. And then as I trained as a coach, I expanded my knowledge of feng shui. So I went from the DIY Western version, which uses the front door, used that very successfully for years. And then after realizing that the Chinese version was 100 times more powerful, I retrained and started using that. And then I was seeing more of what I'd come to understand turning up in the houses of people, and I was connecting that in with the feng shui, and it became this whole really sort of powerful and dynamic combination of energy work with people to make places happier, more successful. But also what I noticed was that people who were struggling with their emotional and mental well-being started to feel better and started to grow and actually find that they were able to do what they wanted to do instead of living in this kind of lostness, the overwhelm and the anxiety that comes with depression and just simply not being able to cope. And suddenly they were able to cope, and it just felt wonderful to be a part of something as amazing as that.
So tell me a little bit about the approach part. Like, so if someone was to sign up, how is the sign up process and you get to start working with them?
Okay, so always I do a video call with them first. So they just, they jump onto my website, book a taster call, and it's literally 30 minutes. It costs them £9, which I think is about $12. And I ask them to show me around their home because I don't want them to tell me anything about what's going on in their lives. I want to see for myself. I'll walk around their home like on a WhatsApp call, and I'll ask them questions about various things that I can see around their home, and I'll just say, tell me about that. What's going on here? And that will then give me the clues as to how they've got to where they are now. And then we'll work out, what do you want from life? Where do you want to be? Okay, this is what I suggest. And it might be interior therapy. It might be feng shui. It might be a combination of the two. I do some packages where I combine both elements. And then we'll decide whether we're going to work together or not. But I'll always look around a home first, because I know that at the heart of everything, the home is dictating what's going on in somebody's life. So, I've worked with people who have had incredible coaches, people who are being coached in the Tony Robbins sphere, but they're just not getting where they want to be. They're throwing everything they've got at it, thousands of dollars. And then they do their interior therapy and they set their feng shui in place. And it's like all of the barriers and obstacles to their success just dematerialize. And then suddenly they're able to, get to the goals that they want, or find that they're feeling okay again. They're able to just get up and go to work in the morning without feeling that terrible fear or anxiousness about even just leaving the house. Once your house is supporting you, it is incredible. And it's like being wrapped in a warm hug when you go home in the evening. And then when you wake up, you tend to wake up feeling good.
Right.
And you know, how many people don't wake up feeling good in the morning? You know, they wake up and think, oh, another day.
Yeah.
That's not how it is when you've done your interior therapy and your feng shui. You're actually waking up and thinking, hey, this is okay.
Now, does the interior therapy, can it be utilized with businesses and like retail stores? Okay.
Absolutely. Especially probably more so with businesses than retail, especially if you've got a fast turnaround of stock in retail. Interior therapy tends to work with the things that are hanging around, that are stagnating around you. So lots of businesses will have storerooms and stockrooms where things have maybe been sitting for years. That's impacting on their feng shui, but it's just as likely if you have a desk to have a pile of paperwork that maybe some of it's been sitting there over a year. And you just, you know, why is it still there? Why is it blocking your desk real estate? What can you do about it to make your life easier? So, yeah, absolutely. It is all about making life simpler, easier, and much more fun. So, you know, I think it works everywhere.
So let's talk about your book. Your book was titled Walking Home, The Stuff That Makes or Breaks Your Relationship, and you won awards. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Can you share with us some key insights from the book that you believe can transform the way people view their living spaces?
Yeah, I think, I mean, the book is all about the interior therapy process. So it defines the 5 stages of interior therapy. And the first bit is clarity. It's understanding how the things that you have around your home are impacting on you. Now, some will be really positive, some will be neutral. You know, probably your dishwasher is probably a fairly neutral thing, you know, but some will be really negative. And if I just explain, if you've perhaps, you know, if you've been in the awful situation where you've had a really, really precious relationship and it's ended, and you're pretty upset about it ending. Now, if there's a photo that was taken of you by your ex and you look absolutely incredible in that photo, you know, it's there, and you look at it and you think, wow, I look so hot in that picture. This is really cool. But the thing is, behind every time you look at that picture, you'll know that the person who took it is your ex. And so that brings you down at a subconscious level, just a tiny bit. And then there can be all kinds of other things. If you've got a really dodgy wedding present that you decided to keep after the divorce, that will bring you down. I was working with the most beautiful, beautiful lady yesterday, and things are not going right for her. They haven't gone right for her since her divorce about 6 or 7 years ago. Showing me around her home. And I said, tell me about the bed, because the bed was kind of, you know, it wasn't saying to me, this is the bed of a queen.
Right.
It was saying to me, this is the bed of somebody who doesn't really care much about what goes on in her life. And she then said, this is the bed that she shared with her husband. And I said, honey, you're sleeping in the DNA of this man who broke your heart. You're sleeping in the soup of his DNA every time you get into that bed. You're resting your head on the headboard where he rested his head. It's no wonder that you're not moving on. It's no wonder that you're really struggling. Let's think about what we can do in order to help you move forward into the life that you want and you need and you really deserve. So I just think it's incredible that she just said, yeah, absolutely. I see, you know, it's never crossed my mind before, but I absolutely see it. I'm going to do something about that now.
And so in a situation like that, what would you recommend? Is like just get a whole new bed, or is it like?
Well, it depends what you can afford. Okay. So, I mean, in the absolute ideal world, you would get a new bed, new duvet, new bed linen, new everything. That would be the thing to do. But let's be honest, sometimes that's a little bit of a step too far. Maybe you can manage to get the mattress and the bed linen. Maybe actually that's not an option either. So in that situation, give the base of the bed head a really, really good clean. Give the mattress a really good clean. That you're capable of, that you can do without spending money. But then change the bed linen. So change your pillows, change your duvet. Make sure that there's a proper thick mattress protector on there, protecting you from that energy that's beneath you. And then as soon as you're able to, because things will start to improve,
Right.
as soon as you're able to then change the whole bed, then do it. Don't wait. Don't sleep in that stuff that connects you to somebody else. So anyway, that's the first part of interior therapy. That's about clarity. It's understanding what stuff does to you.
Right.
The next bit is the clutter, and clutter is individual to everybody. What is clutter for you wouldn't be clutter to your best friend or her friend or anything like that. So you have to understand what's clutter, get rid of it. Then you clean the home, you show it some love. And this isn't about getting your housekeeper in to just, have a quick buzz around with the vacuum. This is you getting in there, really showing your home some love. Then we consolidate. So all of this lovely space that we've created, and it's lovely and clean and bright, then we consolidate that fresh new energy, and that's where we implement the feng shui. And you change your energy with feng shui. We'll get onto that in just a second if we have time. We can do a space clearing ceremony, which then just pushes out any more negative energy from the home. Incredible thing to do. And then the last phase is to create, and this is where we create the life that we want for ourselves. And I have a process I call the manifesto for love, but you can use this manifesto for a new relationship, a new job, a new home, anything you want to use the process for. It's the same process, you just change the words a little. So those are the 5 stages of interior therapy, and that's what Welcome Home, How Stuff Makes or Breaks Your Relationship, takes you through that whole process. So it's a nice thing to do. But yeah, the feng shui, have we got time to talk about house types in feng shui? So this is Chinese feng shui. It's not the basic stuff that's in the book. The feng shui in the book had to be basic so that people can understand and just experiment with the concept. But when you get into traditional feng shui, which is a lot more complex, we have what we call house types. So there are 4 house types. There's a house type that is good for money and good for people. Excellent place to live. It's just the place you really want to live, But then you get the house that is good for people, but it's bad for money. So you'll have a happy, healthy family there, but there is never going to be enough money at the end of the month. Then you get the house that is good for money, but it's bad for people. And this is where you get the high net worth divorces, long-term illness, one separation after another. You've got problems with the kids, everybody acts up. Anything that can go wrong for the people in it is likely to go wrong, and they won't respond well to it. But there'll always be money to throw at the situation.
Right.
The last one is bad for people and it's bad for money. And this is like living in treacle. How do I know it's like living in treacle? Because when I moved into this place, before I knew all of this stuff, bad for people and bad for money. That's why I invested in, the Chinese feng shui, because I couldn't make my own feng shui work after 30 years. Very, very frustrating. Got this Chinese feng shui done, and it was like the roof came off. It was just incredible. I wrote the book in 3 months. It became a bestseller. Everything just took off. And that was because I balanced the energy in this bad for people and bad for money place and brought it back to neutral. So, and then, it's just been amazing ever since, actually.
And so when you say you balance the energy, so can you elaborate more? Like, is it more like just setting up like the furniture, the flow a certain way, cleaning out the energy in the place?
It's always great to clear out the energy, no matter what you do, whether you do feng shui, whether you think it's a load of hooey, it doesn't matter. Clean the energy and it will make a difference. So the feng shui, when you balance out the energy, the particular house types have a certain external remedy depending on what it needs. And you discover that. You can't just guess at it. You discover it by a series of complicated analysis and comparing the the location of the place in relation to true north and when it was built or when it was renovated. So it's not a sort of simple, this is how you do it.
Right.
But then what we do also is we do the internal feng shui. And with Chinese feng shui, you're using remedies which are elemental.
Okay.
So it's not your wind chimes and your kitsch frogs and your little bells and danglies. It's none of that.
Okay.
It's wood, which is plants,
Right.
earth, stones,
Right.
metal, what it says on the tin.
Mhm.
Quite a lot of metal in some cases, but metal just the same. Water.
Mhm.
Water in a vase with a little pump in it, so it's perpetually moving. And now my head's gone black. Fire is the last one. Fire is just done with color. You know, the book, this lovely red,
Mhm.
that's a fire remedy. It's sitting there being a fire remedy in my home. It's as
Wow.
simple as that. And then what you do is when you get a feng shui report, you get your report comes back with the floor plan of your house,
Mhm.
and it tells you exactly where to put your remedies. So it's very straightforward. It explains it all for you. And then you have a call with me or one of my team, and all of the questions you've got about your feng shui, we'll sit here and we'll answer them. And we'll look around your home with you. We'll check that you've got your remedies in the right place. And then we do another call about a month later. And that tends to be, it's virtually champagne glasses at dawn, because we're celebrating all of the amazing things that have happened, whether it's the new relationship or the marriage that was heading for divorce and is suddenly revitalized, or the baby's on the way at last, or the new job, or we're getting engaged, or all of these things. It's just like you're so excited. I've a client in Dubai who contacted me to say, oh my gosh, I've written an article and I'm front page news across Australia.
Oh, wow. That's amazing.
For her, that was epic. It wasn't something she'd even set out to do, but she is now diverting from what she was originally doing. She's realized that what she loves to do is to write. And so now she's writing, and suddenly a TV crew wants to travel with her.
Wow.
It's that much. It's gone from, oh, Suzanne, I'm feeling really miserable. My job's just bringing me down. I can't get a boyfriend. I mean, she's got guys queuing up, let me tell you, to date her. And she's like, no, they're not right for my manifesto. So that's just not going to happen. So, yeah, I love what it does for people. I love seeing men and women just come alive all over again.
Wow. I mean, like I'm definitely going to use your services. In a couple months, I'll be moving to New York. So I want all the positive energy. So I'm definitely going to utilize your services. So I know that you've been going around to several media outlets, and you've been spreading the word of Ontario therapy to broaden the audience. How do you feel this has impacted your business?
How do I feel? Well, it's just bringing it more to the attention of people. I've been very blessed. I was asked to do, have you come across Grand Designs? Do you have Grand Designs in the States? It's a TV program, and they follow a family who are building their own home, or it's being completely redesigned. So I was just minding my own business earlier this year, and I got a call asking me to go and speak at Grand Designs in May, which was, I mean, I thought it was a joke. I spent weeks not saying a word to anybody because I was so convinced that somebody was pulling my leg. But it turned out it's true. And so they asked me to go back again in October. So I did another session there. I'll be doing the Ideal Home Show next year. And also we have something here called the Clean and Tidy Home Show, which is all about, the spick and the span, the organizing, the decluttering, the sparkling. And so I was speaking there this year as well. All of this has happened since I redoubled the fire remedy in my fame area of my house. I think I just didn't have enough there last year. I didn't have enough fire. So I threw a couple of extra cushions in there and some red flowers, and things just took off. So yeah, I write for various media outlets as well. So get coverage around the world, which is pretty good actually.
Pretty good. Congratulations.
Thank you. I love it. I really love it. And just sharing the knowledge for people, somebody who's listening now might be thinking, oh, who is this English woman? What's she going on about? Load of old rubbish. Trash. Sorry, a load of old trash. But actually, if somebody takes just one little thing away from this, if somebody goes and they look at a picture on their wall and they think, this picture makes me miserable, or this picture reminds me of a time when I was really unhappy. And it might not be a picture, it might be something in the wardrobe, it might be a mug in the cupboard.
Wow.
But if they just think, hey, this isn't adding to my life, I don't love it, I don't need it, I don't use it, and actually it's making me unhappy. If just one person takes some stuff out of their home because of this conversation, then that's made a difference to their life, and it's made a positive difference. And for me, that is why I do it. That's why I love it so much. I used to be a head of fundraising. I could be sitting in a charity doing things. Here I am. I'm actually working with people, sometimes in their homes, sometimes on Zoom, like we are now. I have lots of clients in America. I have clients in Dubai and Abu Dhabi and Australia and New Zealand, in the Caribbean and Canada.
Wow.
I'm not there with them, but they are feeling this energy. They're seeing their lives come back to life. They're seeing their estranged children come home, and actually acknowledge the value of the home and their parents. They're seeing their husbands, their very sort of straight-laced husbands, saying, oh my goodness, the home feels so different. It's, let's go away for the weekend. Hey. I have a lady in New York who has been estranged from her children and so distant from her husband since 2013.
Wow.
And she's done this work with me. And the other week, aside from saying the house felt so much nicer, he then said, hey, let's go away for a romantic weekend, just the two of us.
Wow.
Can you imagine what that's like after 10 years of sharing a house, but there really being no passion left?
Wow.
And to have that reignited, it gives me goosebumps when I think about it, that this has changed her life to such a degree. And it just makes me so happy. I do cry a lot. I do cry when people are telling me all of the wonderful things that are happening for them. I get quite emotional, and I
happy
rattle on.
tears, because you just know, when you see people, and I'm only assuming, but when you see people come to you for help and you're able to help them, just the fact that their lives has changed from your help, that's just enough. That's rewarding in itself.
Yeah. And I had a friend come over from Australia to learn my method. So she's already a fantastic feng shui consultant, but she wanted to learn more about interiors therapy because there is nobody who can teach her this stuff there. So she came and spent a month with me. And while she was here, I was asked if I would go and do some work on a hotel, which had only recently been bought, only about 6 weeks earlier. But they'd reopened and it had such bad reviews that they were ready to close and walk away. It was that bad. Well, we were asked to go in and do the feng shui and do the interiors therapy. That hotel now is flying.
Wow.
It's 2 months since we relaunched it, or not even 2 months. And they've now got 5-star reviews. They've got staff who love being there. They've got people who are walking in and asking for a room.
Wow.
It's just incredible to see the changes that are made when you work with the energy of a building. It suddenly comes alive again.
Yeah, it's really amazing, like you said, just the energy in itself. I remember I can't remember where I was at. I was in a hotel, and like you're saying, the feng shui, when you we walked in the door, I think it was like a chair right there. And it's like, that's not welcoming, like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it's so, but then when you go to, I noticed when I went to another hotel, the chair was all the way on the other side. So it was more welcoming, it was more flow, you know? So definitely the energy in places, building homes is really important.
So important. And when you go and look at your new place in New York, which will be fabulous, of course, ask what's happened there before. Why have the previous people moved out? What was that about? Have they gone somewhere because they've been so successful, they're getting a larger apartment, or have they split up and gone in two different directions? You know, it's really useful to know that, because that's going to give you some clues about what's happening with the energy in that building and what you might need to do to rebalance it, and just to make sure that you're okay. Because any building can be fixed. Some are easier to fix than others, but any building can be fixed. You look at, think about Johnny Depp's apartments, in the whole court case. If you look at those apartments online, which you could because they went up for sale, the stuff in those apartments was just like red flags everywhere. There are pictures of demons over the bed.
Wow.
Let me just say to you, if you want a happy marriage, you do not have pictures of demons over your bed. It's as simple as that. And yet, you could see the writing was literally on the wall in those places of what happened. So, I watched that court case with real interest, because, I'd read the house and then I'm hearing all of this stuff and I'm thinking, yeah, yeah, your house told me that.
Wow, yeah, because people don't think about, I don't know if they do or they don't, but like you and I would be able to, like, okay, now why is there demon pictures over your bed? Like, that's supposed to be a love.
How is that helping you? But yeah, I love reading houses, and that, that's what I'm able to do when I do these little half-hour video calls. I'll literally go around and I'll read what's going on. And, sometimes that's quite a surprise for the people. The lady yesterday, when I was saying to her, this is how your daughter's feeling right now. And she's just like, well, how do you know that?
Wow.
Said, well, because her bedroom's just told me.
Yeah. Wow.
So.
And what advice would you give to people that are wanting to start or create a home or an office space that align with their goals and aspirations?
So first of all, absolutely declutter. Take out anything that you don't use, need, or love, because you will not have an easy path to your goals while all of that stuff is holding you in the past. So that's absolutely your first thing to do. If it takes you right through December and into January, deal with that stuff first. I always say to people, feng shui magnifies things. So if you put feng shui remedies into a place that's full of clutter or mess, all you're going to get is more clutter and mess. So start off with your clutter, deal with that first, and then look at how the energy will flow around your house. Can you walk around easily? Have you got bits of furniture in the way? Have you got boxes stacked up somewhere that aren't, that you're not using them, they're just there? Let's deal with those things. And then really just start to listen to your home, start to pay attention to it. Where do you feel good? Which parts of your home can you sit and relax in and just go, this is all right? And which parts of your home do you actually never want to be in? I had one place I hated being in the bathroom. It was just, and I love a bath. I love a bath. That bathroom, no, I would avoid it at all costs. I'd go to the swimming pool to get a shower rather than go in that bathroom. So really pay attention to what your house is saying. You can even ask it what it wants. If you meditate, you can sit and meditate and focus on the home, right, what do you need? How can I help you? And I think, I really do think it's always worth, if you're going to be in a home for a year, I think it's really worth getting your feng shui done and getting that balance, because, forewarned is forearmed. You will know from your feng shui exactly what you need to do, exactly where you might be struggling, and how you can put that right.
Right.
And that is just such a powerful thing to do. So that would be always what I'd recommend. Clutter first, connect with your house, and then think about having the feng shui done. And if you would like your feng shui done, of course, I'm here. Love to help you. And you get this for a good 2 hours, helping you through. Literally, I mean, people tell me that when they read the book, it's like having me right beside them, talking to them. And I like to think that the people I work with become part of my extended family. I have a big family, you know. So it's about working with people just to lift them. Maybe they're in the doldrums, maybe they just want to be more successful. You know, Oprah Winfrey and George Clooney and Georgina Rodriguez, they don't use feng shui because they're feeling a bit fed up or they're not successful. They use it because they know it's going to make them a whole lot more successful.
Yes.
So, you know, those are the good ones to do as well. You know, whether you need to be lifted up or you just want to go stratospheric, that your feng shui will help you do that.
And if people want to get in contact with you, what's the best way of contacting you? Email, social media?
So, well, you'll find me on Instagram at interiors_therapy. You'll find me on Facebook. I have a very, very little group on Facebook because obviously we're, you know, people who use Facebook now don't tend to be middle-aged ladies. Here I am. So you can find me at Interiors Therapy there. The easiest way to get me, especially if what you're thinking is, right, I need this session, I need this walk around, go to the website, which is interiorsTherapy.com, or just Google Suzanne Roynon and the website will come up, and then you can literally just click book a call, and that'll take you to my scheduler, and we'll book a call and we'll have a chat. You can show me around and I'll tell you what's going on, and then you can tell me what you need.
I'm super excited. Are you working on any new projects for 2024?
Just at the moment, there is a little something going on that's, you know, be very, very nice if that comes off. We are, Suzanne, who is my colleague from Australia, and I are looking at working in the States in May. So we're quite excited about that. The challenge is that it's also coinciding with somebody who wants me to go and talk on their retreat in the south of France. So I don't, you know.
What's the south of France?
Well, you know, I quite like the idea of coming and working in California. So California and Washington, D.C. are on the agenda for next year, most definitely. Caribbean at Christmas, which is lovely. So, you know, I talk about creating the life you want for yourself. So in September, I decided that I wanted to go to the Caribbean for Christmas.
Nice.
And I just said, right, universe, please provide me with everything I need to go there. And 2 weeks later, I booked it.
Wow.
That is what you can do. That's what you can accomplish when you live in a home that supports you. You could literally say, this is what I'd like. Thank you very much. And allow it to come to you. So yes, so that's yes, next year, something that I can't talk about, some more big shows, and hopefully doing some in-person work in the States as well as doing it remotely from here.
All right. Well, Susan, thank you for stopping past. Again, look for a call from me sometime in February or March when I'm in New York. So I can't wait to get started. But again, thank you for taking time on a Sunday to join me and tell me your story. I appreciate it.
It's an absolute joy, Paris. Thank you so much for having me here.
No problem.
Tune in to the Diva Hot Show. Motivate the glow. We get you more info. Flick to my head to toe. I let the whole world know. I let the whole world know.